Hey, Catalina. Morning. Today is very dark in here. It's very dark because it's about to rain, I believe. And it's cloudy today. It's very cold. It's windy. Um, so yeah, if you do notice that there's a lot of lighting coming from me, like it's because I need to add certain lights behind because I do have the salt lamp here, but it doesn't do that much light. So I do have to get one for like behind me. But yeah, I'm still figuring out which one do I want because I don't know if you remember that I had bought I did purchase a galaxy lamp. Remember that I had a galaxy lamp and I have it over there and that it randomly it said like it started talking and it was like YouTube mode, and it still does that, and it's not like connected to any device in my house. So I don't know why it keeps repeating that. And I did try to set it up to see if it would remain silent at some point, and no, it doesn't. And also it changes lights by itself. So it's going to ruin the mood. Like really, I don't want that thing, and it's such a shame because it wasn't cheap, the Galaxy. But maybe I did. Maybe it was like from a brand that I don't know, a Chinese brand or something like this. But it didn't seem very like it was. It was funny because the USB cable that it came with, it wouldn't charge. So I had to get another USB, you know, um, cord that I had. Um, so I think that from factory, it came like with defects. Wow, we have 37 here. Oh my, so hot. Oh my, so hot. And here it's starting to rain. So let's see how it goes here. Let's see if it doesn't leak or if it doesn't get loud. Let's see how we manage rain here. Even though I don't think that it's going to rain hard, but probably it's going to be continuous. So let's see. Yeah, it has so many defects. Like I don't know what's wrong with it. I did try to find, a lot of like tutorials about how to use it, and I have everything right. I know, I have the remote, and I know what it is for each thing its own. But so I will have to get another kind of lamp, another more like maybe just like the bulb, not a lamp, like not those flashy with big pictures or that it moves, more like just a boat, and that's it. Yeah, but we're supposed to get thunderstorms later, so tomorrow it will be 10 less. Oh, thunder, summer rain. That you're like, please, I want, like, you're like, okay, it's going to finally rain so I can breathe. And actually, the humidity is so high that you cannot breathe, even if it's raining. Oh my. Do you have AC on in your house, inside your house? I cannot live without the AC. Like my electricity bills were really up last summer, but I was like, there's no way I can function or work if I don't have the AC on. So yeah, true, we need the rain. Ah, okay. That's great. That's better. That's better. Your house acclimates itself. Ah, okay, great. Yes, great. I was laughing to myself like before you came in because I was starting to remember. I had a very vivid dream um, a couple of hours ago before I woke up. I dreamt of two BTS members. So I don't know if it's because, we are celebrating BTS. I'm getting back to reading for them. On Wednesday I'm going to do, since everyone is so interested in the romance, in if there's romance in their life, if you know whatever is going on in that aspect, I'm going to read in a very general way from for each of the members on Wednesday. So if you want to join, and I don't know if it was that, but I dreamt with two of them, and it was like, this is the thing about my dreams. First, that I do remember my dreams. So if you guys ever like dreamt with a K-pop idol, or your, in this case, they are not my biases because I love everyone in BTS. I don't have a bias in BTS. Um, but um, if you had, share your experience in the comment section. For me, I had a year ago, a year and a half ago, I had dreams with NCT Jaehyun and Monster X Shonu. It was so intense. It was so intense because they wouldn't talk, but I would feel them seated next to me. It was so intense. Um, and I also dream of my bias of Utah while I was also dreaming of Chechen. Utah was present, but Utah was ignoring me. And the only one that sat next to me and that was pendant on me was Chechen. Um, and Utah just was ignoring me and just being, you know, um, all a diva. Um, and I dreamt of Hey Fluffy, I was about to tell Chachalino that I had a dream with two BTS members like a couple of hours ago, and it was so vivid. I do remember my dreams. I remember the sensation. I remember everything. Like and I dreamt of Jungkook and Namjoon. I dreamt of the two Virgos in the team. So I don't know if also that makes sense because last time we were talking, like we were comparing like Monsta X and Monsta X Shonu with Jaehyun and how I felt them. So with their Taurus placement, how I felt them, like they were stalking me basically, but they were very loyal, sitting next to me, didn't say anything, but they were next to me. And in this case, it's so funny because I felt like I was on, like in a sort of hotel resort, like I was on vacation. And and like in the morning, there's like it happened in the same day, which is hilarious. um in the morning, like I met JK and we had like a sort of like date. Like, I mean, we were talking, and he was like, yeah, very proper, and I was like, I knew who he was, of course. But he was very shy, very cautious. And he was like, after that, I want to see you again, and we exchanged numbers or so, but all very proper, very chill. Not, but I was like, oh, you're into me. Um, and it was obvious, but it was cool. It was like a cool experience. Like, yeah, like I'm going to see Jungkook later, like in a second date. Jungkook asked me out, but he was so trying to be so like formal about it, or just like trying to, I felt like as if I was talking to a friend. Like it didn't feel like a date at all, but I knew because he asked me for a second encounter, I would say. Like it's like, okay, yeah, we were not talking like friends. But then that same day later in that same hotel resort, because it's like they all were all vacationing in there, and then I ran into Namjoon, into RM. And with him, the vibe was totally different because he was hitting on me. He was obvious about it. He was so obvious about it. Like he really was like I could feel his insistency towards me. And also we did make out. So so it was like so spontaneous with him. It felt like, and it's really funny because, guys, I'm in my 40s. Like, I know they are younger than me, but in my dreams, I believe I saw myself like as if I was their age, or around their age, as if I was in my 20s. Um, but somehow there was something about Namjoon wanting to look smarter, or wanting to sound like he knew more than me. Like he was trying to take charge. He was trying like, okay, yeah, we will see each other again. Yeah, we can do this. And I was like, I saw, I saw Jungkook like in the like in the morning. I had breakfast with him, and he was super nice. Like I was like trying to tell him that I was also seeing Jungkook, and he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." He's like sort of been like, "Yeah, I'm not." Yeah, like, "Oh, that's cool that you saw him. Yeah, that's okay." But him feeling like he was superior to me. There's something about his energy that felt like the way he talked to me, the way he would move. It was annoying, but I was like, yeah, I kind of like him because, there was an attraction, and I could really feel like this is a date or an encounter that is going straight to the point. Maybe more passionate or more like real. Like it felt like a man of his age, hitting like being obvious about what is going on. So with him I felt a bit much more like at ease. I felt more comfortable because it's like, okay, yeah, I feel it too, so yeah, let's do this. um but the annoying part was him trying to sound smarter than me, and there was a part in my dream that I was like, "Oh, you're trying too hard to sound smarter than me. I'm older than you." In my mind, I was like, I'm older than you. Like, what can you say that that came like, oh my? But somehow in the dream, I would also like be playing the role as if I was his age or younger, or maybe he thought that I was younger. Um, in the dream, and he was like lecturing me about it. um he was a bit cocky about it, and I was like, okay. I was like, okay, okay, yeah. And just talking, and with his mannerisms, being very like, oh, talking about Sagittarius energy again. Every time I talk about Sagittarius and placement people, I drop things. And yeah, with his, and he was so funny, but it was like, I was like, oh my god, like, who do I choose? Like, I will go on a second date with both of them, of course, of course. I will not make my mind right away. I have to think about this. And I don't know if I think that I when I was younger, I don't know if this is like a deja vu of me dating when I was very young, like when I was like 17, that I had the same situation with a guy that was very passive and like very nice but boring, and the other one that was like very straightforward and was older than me, or wanted to like somehow arrange everything and control everything. And I was like, who do I choose? So I don't know if they somehow are like coming into my dream to personify that. But I was like, I have to tell people, like, I think that I'm talking too much about BTS. They are in my dreams. But it felt very nice. I never, like, in my dream, I didn't feel them like celebrities, like, oh my God. No, I felt them like real guys. Like, I wasn't like surprised at all. I wasn't surprised at all. Namjoon, Namjoon, Fluffy, Namjoon. He, it's just that it's different because if I have to like somehow express it, definitely their energies felt very different. Because JK, despite him, like everyone is like, oh, we know he's beautiful, he's like so. But when I was talking to him, it felt like he was a bit indecisive about how to say the words, how to tell me like I want to see you again, or I want to meet you, or I like you. I think that I was like being patient with him, trying to understand. Like in my dream, of course, we spoke the same language because it's a dream. um but he was very shy about it. He was very awkward, just evading a bit, trying to think what to say, and I would be like, looking at him, looking at his face and waiting for him to be like, what do you want to do? Because I was like, I also don't want to get confused, so why, what do you want? Like, we have been talking, but why are you here? you know Go straight to the point. And he would be very shy. He would look down, he wouldn't look at me in the eye. He would be very shy, very just stuck in his thoughts, just zooming out a lot, very nervous, very nervous. And I was like, okay. And when I'm June, it was like, this is why I dropped my mate, because he was moving his hands. He was very like with mannerisms, very like, active. And he would talk to me and he would be like, oh, what do you think about this? He would like come, like, he would like be like this, like in front of my face. He was like trying to act sexy and everything. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. I like you. But I did find him annoying when I felt that he was trying to lecture me. When he was trying to sound smarter, I was like, oh my, like, why? But he was very, and it was so nice because I was like, okay, because he came so close to my face, and then we were making out, and I was like, okay. So I guess, in this aspect, I do approve of you. um but yeah, two different energies. I don't know if they are like that in real life. I have no idea. This is what I dreamt of. This is what I dreamt about. It's so weird. The dream was so weird, but I was like, why them two? And I was like, okay, I will go on the second date with the two of them, because I still have to decide, like, who will I choose? Ah, all BTS members have their profile on AstroSim, and it has a compatibility option. I got zero with RM. You would hate me. Oh my, that's interesting. I didn't know AstroSim had that. I once dreamed about one of my favorite Japanese singers, and he was such a terrible car driver. I wanted to jump out of the car. Another dream with Q, where he was a friend telling me he had issues with his parents, and him chasing me and my friends in his car, and he was scary. Oh my. It's so It's so interesting. Dreams are so interesting. I was like, why am I dreaming of BTS members? Like, why? Why? I don't even think about them that way. Why? Oh my. But since I have a good memory, I do have, very vivid dreams. That's why, I wanted to tell you guys because I was like, I remember even the sensations, but I remember JK's shyness the most. JK's shyness, yeah, him being shy the most. Me like somehow being like, okay, yeah, you have to go, but is there something you want to tell me? And he was so like so all over the place. He just was collecting his thoughts. He was like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Cute, 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 but weird. Cute but weird. And when Namjoon was more sexy, it was interesting. It was interesting, but I got a bit annoyed at his attitude. I was like, but he there's something about like me being in the dream, being next to RM, and definitely feeling like his energy or his body language or maybe even his body, I don't know. It feels like he takes up space energetically. He's a person that he takes up a space. Like you see him, the way he moves, the way he acts, the way he's talking to you, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm next to a celebrity. Even if he was a regular guy, there's something about his energy feeling like, he takes up space, and um you know he was doing a lot. He was doing a lot, like just talking about himself, how he knows things, and yeah, yeah, very, very, obvious. But probably acting like a man, like a man would. I had another dream where Winter approached me and gave me styling tips. Apparently, my fashion sense is terrible. No. I once dreamt I was pregnant with my second kid from Mingyu, and I was discussing names with his mom. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a commitment in there. You met the family even. Yeah, like a real double such. Yeah, that's how I felt. Like he was being a lot, a lot. But I was kind of liking it, like like it was all about him talking about himself, and I was like, but um, I felt more attraction and more things happening with Aaron than with JK. With JK, it was like, yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye. Like that, just so awkward. Like I was like, oh my god, like this is not sexy at all. Wow, I have a 97% with JK and 99 with Kai and Astro theme. Wedding when? Yes, we didn't know about the that Astro theme. So everyone go to Astro theme if you haven't gone already, and check your compatibility with your biases. We were married and all. Yes, no, not Pisces, please, not a Pisces. No, 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 no. No Pisces. I met a few people Pisces, and no. Such, yeah, Now Kali is meowing because she's hearing that I'm talking, and she's like, crazy, going crazy. Just that there's something about fire signs that annoy me so much. Um, then when I am around other energies, I'm like, I will go back to the fire signs. But I have great relationships. Actually, all the people in my life, my family, my dad, people I met at work, that really inspire me, that really pushed me to do better, that were really honest, and straightforward, and like big cheerleaders in my life, were like fire signs. Fire signs do really trust me. Like they see the potential before I see it, and they are like, come on, go, do it, do it, do it, don't hesitate, go, do it. And every time I follow their advices, actually, I am very successful. um but um romantically, I don't know. My ex, that he was a Virgo, he had Aries rising. And he was like a bit like annoying from time to time. Like he had that need, even though he was a Virgo man, he had that tendency of being loud when he spoke, or being controversial with what he said, always, or maybe having arguments, not arguments, but different opinions with people, with random people. He would always fight with someone. So he was controversial, and I was like, oh no, I need peace. I need peace. Like I just cannot with you. Like, can you calm down a bit your need to show what you know, or show that you are smarter, or can you calm down a bit? Like, can you be more humble at least? So definitely, I was like, Aries, no. And my dad too. My dad is like, oh my God, I feel so embarrassed every time I have to go out with him, because he's so loud. He's so loud. And he's so unfriendly, in the sense that his face, it looks unfriendly. Like he looks like he's angry all the time. But actually, he's a very nice person. But he has a very tough look. Mm, yes. Is the me, the Lulu talk with too much fire signs. Yes. For me, it's like, can you hush a bit? Can you just, not make a scene, please? Like I'm trying to, oh no, no, no. Like I don't know. I think that when I was younger, probably because I also do have the sun in the first house, so I could also have a bit of impulsivity, or being impulsive when it comes to talking about myself, for example, or talking about my own experience. And yeah, when I was younger, maybe I tend to be like all about me, 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 or every time I would be like, oh, but I would do this differently, or I wouldn't do that. But I think that I will be too outspoken, and then with age and experience, um, I learned to regulate myself. Like, not everyone is interested in listening to your story. Like, oh, because I know better, or because I would never do that. Like, nobody cares. like, like, nobody cares. Just like, stop it, stop it. You're annoying. You're annoying. Um, but yeah, a lot of work to regulate. As the Near is rising, people say I look angry and annoyed at all the time, while I just have no thoughts. Yeah, they do have a very menacing face. Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah. My dad is the sweetest, but he looks like he's angry. He looks like he's angry. And also I would also, from him, I would copy he would frown a lot, when he's talking to you or when he's listening to you, he would be like, and I would get that of him as well. I remember I would do that. But then when I went to school for counseling, I had to learn to manage my expressions, the expressions of my face, don't do those, don't frown, don't be like, oh, don't do that. I would do that. I would have that you will be talking to me, I would, and probably I would be thinking something negatively, but I will have that, and then I had to soften that. I have to soften, my face, to sort of leave it like, not with no expression, but it's like you are, let's not do that kind of expressions, because the other person that is telling you something important, one gesture or one look like this, it can throw them into a place of, oh, she's disapproving of me, or she's disapproving of this that I'm saying, or she's judging me. So not do that when you are listening to people. But I wouldn't notice until someone said that. Actually, a lot of people had said it, that I would be like frowning on them, I would be like, but then I changed. I changed. It's hard because sometimes I don't manage what I do. Um, but when I'm listening to something that I find interesting, in the sense that I'm like picking up something about what the other person is saying, I tend to tilt my head. I tend to tilt my head like this. When there's something that you're saying that I'm like picking up, that in there's something, and I'm like, you know, yeah, I need to be non-judgmental. And sometimes, I remember when the first time that people told me about this, that I had to change also, the 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 the, the expressions in the face, and I would be like, but I don't do that. Like you. There's something about us, maybe it's culturally, that we are like, yeah, but that doesn't mean a thing if I frown, or if I maybe I can have like, I'm not, I cannot see straight, or I have a problem in my sight, and the other person is like, taking it the wrong way, or misunderstanding that I'm judging them, when actually I don't know, I have something in my eye, I don't know. And but they were very insistent on that part, no gestures with your face, no gestures. We are always communicating. We are always communicating, even with mannerisms, always communicating. So you have to regulate that. Sometimes I catch myself talking about myself too much. I just want to help by sharing how I dealt with something, but I think it might come off too miscentered. It's just that, Aries, there's a famous comedian, Argentinian, here in my country. Like he's Argentinian. He does comedy, and usually he talks about, the zodiac signs, the sun signs. The typical. He makes fun. He's a Virgo himself, so he makes fun of Virgos, or he makes fun of Capricorns, that you're always thinking about work, and the typical, the generalized view of the zodiac, and he makes jokes about it. And every once in a while, he asked the audience, okay, what sign are you? If you came with your partner or with a boyfriend or with a date, like what sign is your partner? And they end up talking about themselves, and at some point, they were talking about, I don't know if he was talking about a Capricorn. He was talking to a Capricorn in the audience, and they were talking about professions, and I don't know. But then, when the video started, it was about him moving on and asking another person in the audience, like, what sign are you? And the person, and the girl, it was a girl, and the girl says, I'm an Aries. And oh, okay. He was like, okay, so what is your profession? Um, and she was like, I don't have one. I'm jobless. I'm not working at the moment. And he was like shook, like of course trying to be funny on purpose. He was like, oh no, oh no, oh my God. Like, we were talking about professions and everyone were mentioning the professions and you don't have a job? Like, oh my God, like, that's such an Aries things to do. And he kept making fun of Aries, but also, mentioning that Aries would, they do what they want, and that she would get upset at him if he kept joking, and that she would punch him in the face, because it's okay if she doesn't have a job, you know, and everyone were laughing. And I did leave a comment in that video because I was like, Aries is about the self. Aries is about the I. Is I am, not I work at or my profession is. Aries is the identity. So it's very normal that, the Aries person that you just ask or you just, call out. That person, she says, I'm an Aries. My name is this. I am. Now, about job or profession or whatever, I don't have one at the moment. Maybe I'm changing jobs, maybe I'm unemployed, but they, it's like they present themselves from the I. So I think that it was very fitting. It was a kind of Aries response. Mm. Yes, confusing, trying to figure something out like dogs do. Yeah, I think that is a bit, for me, it's like I'm sort of like, I'm zooming into what you just said. It's like, yeah, something I do. Yeah, like the Virgo that he is being judgmental. And also it's really funny because he was interviewing he was talking to a couple in the audience that it turned out that I don't know if the girl or the guy who it was a Virgo and a Capricorn dating, like they went on a date to that show, to that comedy show. And he was making fun of them. He was like, oh, so your relationship must be like running a business. Like so typical, like there could be a bit of truth, but it's not just that. Virgo and Capricorn is not like all the time talking about business. And we do like mundane things, like it's not just about talking about objectives or goals. We are romantic, we are sexual people, like we do things. So it's not, we do couple things, it's not all for like, oh, let's build an empire together, or let's create a business together, let's talk about money. No, not at all. Yeah, you must be boring. Yeah. For me, I'm boring when I'm with the wrong people. Usually, and I think that being boring is a kind of self-defense mechanism. When I don't like someone, I just stay plain. I don't want to, get too much attention to myself. I don't say much. I stay, I just observe. I'm a plant. I act like a plant. I just stay there. when I'm not interested. But when I really like someone, I show my true self. Yeah, and I'm very funny. I mean, I'm funny in the sense that I'm a bit like, I have a dark sense of humor, but I feel extra funny when the other person gets it. Um, I'm trying to be boring. Okay, guys. But yeah, it was a beautiful experience. Like too recently, a couple of hours ago, I dreamt of BTS, Jungkook, and RM, and I went on a date with them. It was a great, like, contrast of personalities. But yeah, choose a dream, guys. Like it's not that, it's not that I say like, oh, they came into my dreams. It's the people, it's the person. No, is I have to think like, what does this mean for me? What is the message in there? They're probably been like, you should go back with two Virgos. You should go back to dating Virgos again. And I'm like, oh no, please, no. I don't know. I don't know. I think that honestly, like, water sign men are not for me. Are not for me. I cannot, like I told you a couple of weeks ago, I cannot go back to having to worry for my partner. Like, how are they doing emotionally? What is going on with them? Do they need something from me? I think that I need to go back to the earth signs or the fire signs, or um, it's not about going towards a sign, because it's not. I just bring it out the signs because we are talking about astrology here. But for me, it's like, I have to go back to, choosing a partner that can bring me stability and simplicity. Not drama, not drama. I want to stay drama free. I think that there's a part of me that loves drama, definitely in relationships. But I think that I'm changing and I'm embracing that, maybe, maybe, go back to a relationship that, yeah, it's not fireworks. It's not like, oh, it's so exciting to be here. But at least I can trust the person, and not feel like, I'm walking on eggshells, like, oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings. Oh no, like, yeah, yeah, maybe I do. Mm. hmm I don't identify with the boring or even the business like charismatic as a Virgo cup. I can be critical and judgmental though, and know it all. Actually, Virgo and Capricorn energy, they are so nice. They are so nice. Like, it's really hard for a Virgo Capricorn energy um to really hurt your feelings, or being like, I mean, if you ask them for advice, they will give it to you. But if you don't, they are just minding their own life, their own business. They are not people that they would. Now, a moon in a moon in Virgo, I don't know. But a Virgo suns, they just mind their own business. They don't bother people. They just mind their own business. They are very busy with their lives. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, and as a very earth person, finally do better with earth air placements, with like one of two fire placements. But water, I have a hard time. Yeah, I think that is not good for us. I think that is not good for us. And now that we are in this era of Jupiter in Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer is in my seventh house at the moment. So I do have the seventh house in um in Cancer. So I usually it's very obvious. Like it's not the yeah, it's the people I date, but also it's the people I attract. They do have Cancer placements at some point, and it's so obvious because I look at them and I look at them how they are like giant babies. Physically, you can really tell there's a Cancer placement in there. Um, but I think that I should avoid those, even though like, oh, it's like, oh well, it makes sense because I'm a Capricorn, so to attract Cancer people is, but I think that I can still be friends, or just have Cancer people in my life, or Cancer placements like best friends, or acquaintances, but not dating them, not dating them, because I think that I have also water placements myself. I'm a Scorpio moon. I have a lot of Pisces. So, I'm like, I own my emotions. I know I'm emotional as well. So I think that we don't need to drown ourselves together, with like, oh, my life is a misery. And also, I think that's the thing that for me, specifically for me, like like this is something that I noticed that a lot of people talk about Scorpio moons, and they are like, oh, because is in a difficult position, and a Scorpio moon and having a Capricorn moon is like the two worst moons, Um, but honestly, like even though, and I also have like Pluto is my dominant, is the dominant in my chart. Like Pluto is very high up there, like Pluto and then the moon, in the 10th house. Um, so even though I have that scorpionic energy in there, um, I think that I'm usually a very happy person. Yeah, I have deep feelings, and I can be resentful if I want to. I can be, a bit like sometimes I don't let go. I do have that tendency. I have a strong emotions. I'm very like, dominant in that sense emotionally. But I am a happy person. Even thinking about a Scorpio placement and being a Capricorn, a double Capricorn. It's like, oh, because Capricorn, oof. And I'm like, you know, actually, I'm a very nice Capricorn. Yeah, people sometimes when they first meet me, they are intimidated by me. They think that I'm a lot, or that I must be, very judgmental, or that I must, be important. Like people feel very intimidated by me, especially when they meet me like in a work environment. They feel really intimidated, very intimidated by me. But actually, I'm a very nice and approachable person. If you don't make me waste my time, if you want to fool around and make me waste my time and just say stupid jokes, I will not listen to you. I will not give you the time. I can be very cold also when I ignore people. But I think that I don't know. Just like I said the other day when we were talking about, the Scorpio women in my life, my mom, my grandma, a lot of pain, suffering, frustration, restriction. And for me, even though I do have a Scorpio placements and I'm a Capricorn, so it's tough. But I feel it like I'm so happy with who I am. And yes, I did suffer. I did go through a lot of challenging, you know, with sickness, having sicknesses, and having a lot of, challenging, not happy moments in my life. But I think I haven't lost the like I'm a very happy person. Like I don't know how to describe it. This is why I'm like, maybe is my son in the first house that is like boosting my identity. It's like, you know giving it a bit of fire to my identity, that I'm like, yeah, I can go around on my birth chart and be like, yeah, because the Scorpio placement are tough, and being a Capricorn is tough, and having this is tough, but I don't feel it like this. I feel like I'm a nice person. And I think that being me or being myself has been like the greatest attribute that I have. Um, and I don't want to get all in the dark. Like you have to be dark, intense, and depressive. Like I don't see, and I met people, Scorpios and Capricorn, that are depressing. They are depressing. They definitely they are so depressing. But for me, it's like I don't see it like that. I don't see it like that. I feel like I'm happy. I'm happy being who I am. And I also let it go. Those I let it go. I'm like, I don't do or I don't hang around in places where I'm not recognized. If you don't like me, I will move on to a place where they like me. And I will not be like, oh, why they don't like me. No, if you don't like me, that's fine. But I will go with people that really like me and appreciate me. Like I'm not um I don't like to suffer like that. Yes. The only cup placements I have are Uranus and Neptune. No strong influence here. Hey, Parvati. Okay, Jupiter in Cancer in your seventh could be a big deal for partnership for you. Could it be that in July I will start dating? I don't know why I feel it. Usually, when I start dating, when I get in a real serious relationship, my anniversaries mostly are on July. Yeah, the first days of July. It's the Cancer forehead. I don't know how to explain. You can recognize it. No, for me, it's the big eyes. The big eyes. And also it's like the big eyes and the huge lashes and that for the men is that they can be very tall but they dress like children, like from the child's department. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Yeah, yeah, parent and kid, we don't bring each other anything. Oh yeah, he was updated. No marriage, no, I don't want to sign anything. You know that actually, talking that you mentioned something about um Sagittarius being the man for me. I do find Sagittarius placement and people being amazing. But you know that the other day I was looking for my because I don't know, it came up in on TikTok, a girl talking about the Nemesis asteroid. Who is your nemesis in this life? And I looked for mine, and I have my nemesis um in Sagittarius. So they could be my enemies. They could bring me like they could bring me down. Sagittarius. Never dated a Cancer. I mostly dealt with Cancer women, and yes, round eyes. Then serious relationship. Maybe you're just dating. Yeah, the dream with the rain was a sign. Opposites attract. Yeah. For a Cancer man it's very obvious. Like for me, I always feel the Cancer men like follow me around. They want to be around me, even as friends or coworkers. They are not creepy, but they do have an idolization of me. I did notice, being around some Cancer men, they would be like, they would pay a lot of attention to me. They would be like, oh, I like the shoes you're wearing, or what is that perfume that you're wearing? Like um very much paying attention to me, and being around me and wanting my advice or wanting me, to listen to them or give them a perspective. and I don't find it intrusive at all, but I do notice that they want to be around me, so yeah, it's nice. Like for me to have them as friends, I don't feel, for me, I don't feel the attraction because I do feel a bit of, you know, there's something about them that I'm like, you are really lost, aren't you? like people that that I don't know. Sometimes I feel a bit sorry for them, um, because they get lost um, in marriages or relationships or taking care of others, and you do realize that, or you do see that these people have no agency in their lives. They do what they are supposed to do, but they don't know about themselves. They don't know about what their own needs. They don't connect with that. So for me, that's like, oh my. I have my nemesis asteroid in Cancer, and here I am slandering them for babies. Yeah, well, for me, the same with Sagittarius. I do love me some Sagittarius energy, especially women. Women. The other day I was thinking about, when in the 2000s, I was a huge fan of Britney and Christina. Both of them, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, both of them Sagittarius. Of course, Britney was like my dream everything, like until this day. I follow on TikTok a girl that talks about Britney's looks, her outfits in the 2000s. Like Britney was so iconic, and I so wanted to be her. Like I really love Britney. I love Britney. Like she was a true, like for me it was, it's not so much like the singing and the dancing. For me it was like how athletic she was, how athletic, me being an earth sign. I was never ever able to get, like, to do even a cartwheel. Like I was so dumb and so unflexible in, to do gymnastics. Like never. I remember once I tried to stand up, with my both hands, and I fell on the floor and I hit my teeth. I almost lost my teeth because I was so dumb. Like my extremities doesn't, I don't function for doing, the gymnastics. I think that seeing her being um so iconic, and having that flexibility and being that um like a sports person. For me, Britney is not so much like the dancing. Her body, everything was like a machine of um like someone that works out, and I think that for me was like, she is so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful. Yes. Yes, multi-talent, beauty, and appearance. Yeah, for me it was like, well, for Christina, I did like her when she got that album with the song. Was it Dirty? Dirty was the song. Was the name of the song? When she began to, to undress herself and being a bit more risky with her, with her moves, her style. I like that part, of her being much more seductive. I did enjoy that era. Um, um, I also got the highlights like she had. She also dyed her hair like dark black. I had that color of hair also, that blue blue black kind of hair. Um, I they were the two, them two, and I used to like Mandy Moore as well. Mandy was amazing for me. I remember like her. Was it Candy her first MV? She was so cute. Like I wanted so much to be like her. Like, and I think that we all millennial people we were like this, but for me, I think that now that I think about, Sagittarius people, and for me, like I loved how sporty and not sporty. That's not the word that I'm looking for. It's more like physical that Britney had. The stamina, the strength. Um, how she looked so confident, while performing, and you would never see her like, just being lazy. No, all the time, like working, um, and just being goofy, very goofy person. She didn't take herself that seriously, and that I loved about her. What's my favorite Britney song? My favorite Britney song is Overprotected, but the remix. The what was it? The remix? Um, and Crazy. Crazy. You cannot get more Sagittarius Jupiter energy than Britney with that, you know, um, with that red, with that not with that green top that she had on in the Crazy video. Drive me crazy. Drive me crazy, is it? Or crazy? I think that is crazy. The name of the song. With that metallic green top and the hair and like beautiful, beautiful. I think that she's like she I don't know how to explain it, but she was such a role model of, I don't know, just amazing, amazing. It's so unfortunate what they did to her. So unfortunate. But yeah. Mm. Toxic. Yeah. Baby One More Time. Yes. I had her first CD, the Baby One More Time CD, and it became with the um with the with the MV, and I would play it like all the time because it was only a video. It was one video, but back then it was a whole technology. Yes, Britney is the boa of the US. The green outfit with the snake. Also, she kinda reminds me of. She must have some Capricorn energy in her because I know she's an Aquarius moon, but there must be some Capricorn energy in her because she does remind me a bit of Capricorn in certain parts. I don't know what. Yes, that's another thing. Her envies age pretty well too. That's why I'm like, if we think about her and her envies and her style, and it's, I don't want to say like it's timeless, but it was like no one did it, like no one dressed the way she dressed. Like, she's a Cap Venus. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to start because sorry, 1 hour of us ranting about ourselves. I'm sorry, I apologize. We were talking about the self and my dreams. So with BTS, RM, and Namjoon, and RM and JK. But yeah, sorry, I apologize. I'm going to tell you who I have on my list for today for the Q&A. Cancer season is here. Let's welcome Cancer season. I'm sure if everything goes well, next Sunday I'm going to start reading for the Cancer Idol. So I will create a post about this. Okay. First question. It says, will SM groups be able to break into Western market in the near future? You know, more about thinking, you know, this person was mentioning that probably in Asia, you know, SM groups are more popular. So what about the Western market? And then there's another question that involves SM, that is if does SM manipulate the chart numbers of their artists? Let's see what the tarot has to say about this. I'm going to read about Haknyeon and, you know, what is going on with him. I'm going to read for him to see his side, and then I'm going to read for 100 the company. But yeah, I'm not going to go that much into that because, you know, it's all maybe it's illegal or there's legal things in the middle, like who said, he said, but let's see their energies. Let's see. Then I'm going to read for someone asked me for the energy slash personality of the next it girl, female idol in the future, possibly, you know, in the fifth gen of K-pop, if there's going to be a fifth gen. But yeah, what are the characteristics or energy of a potential it girl in K-pop in the future? I'm going to read for Twice, Sana, and Hobby. Even though I did make myself very clear the other day, because when I read for Sana and Hoshi, I did say I'm not going to read for Sana and whoever because, you know, she's going to have different moments. This is just the beginning. She's going to invite probably a lot of men to her show, a lot of famous people. I said that more hype artists were going to start appearing on her show, and then now we have Hobby. So, you know, it's like it's not like, oh, it's obvious, but I think that if every time she does you know, an episode with someone, you're going to be like, oh, can you pull cards for them because they seem so friendly, they seem to get along, they seem so nice, I think that they were flirting. Yeah, it's the concept of the show. So, but yeah, let's see, you know, since they mentioned that, you know, Twice and BTS, that they had a story, you know, they have history together. So yeah, let's see the both of them, how they feel about each other. Then I'm going to read for EXO Suho, Kai, and Chanyeol for the rest of their 2025, and for Kim Jiwon, the actress projects. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. I swear I tried Bacano. There was a moment when I was like, okay, if people start asking for the same, I was like, I'm not going to do the live stream because the questions, they were so, they weren't questions. It was more like, I want to know about my favorite this. Oh, I want to know about this, and this, and this. Like, and I said, aespa and Blackpink for a while, I'm not going to read for them because I have been reading a lot for them. Like, I have a 2025 reading for them. Go and watch it. I have certain reading when the Karina thing happened. I read for her. You know, I try to, every time something happens, I try to depend on the girls. You know, for Blackpink album, I also read. For Jennie, I read last week. So, you know, let's calm down. You know, let's calm down and bring me new groups, please, because, you know, if I get bored, if I get, you know, suffocated of seeing the same names, I'm going to stop doing the readings because it's like always the same people. Like, please let them go. Let them go. Mm-hmm. Yes. There's this new group, yeah, also Ahof. This one I'm going to pull cards for them because they are new. I don't know if they're debuted already, but yeah, they are new. Ahof. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but yeah, that new group. Yes, that's exactly, Chachalino. I'm like, they want to know, and also for the actresses also, like the questions. What is the drama going to be about? Is it going to be what gender is going to be about? Who do you also want me to go into her house and see, what kind of perfume she wears? Like, can we please, stay this is a tarot reading. This is not, to see like, okay, when is it going to get released? Tell me the date, the number, stop it, people, stop. Like, you are very invasive, very invasive. Like, it's like, a general reading for you guys doesn't work. Like, you know, mm, yeah, people need to have some common sense. Yeah, also I think that people want to know about them because K-pop right now, the all groups are stopped, so isn't much going on right now. You're not an oracle. People need to learn the difference. Also, it's like you guys, like Chachalina said, let the energy move first. Before you wanting to know details about details about projects. Like, can we please at least see the people working? Like, at least starting? The same about, dating. Like, oh, this person, I think that this person likes this person because there was these coincidences. Give me real proof. Get me a picture of said idol with the other woman or with the other guy. Get me the picture, the evidence of them together, like Jenny and B walking on Paris, videotape, like this being on a video. Get me that kind of evidence, or maybe an agency statement being like, we don't deny it. Get me something like this, very juicy, and I will read for that couple. But if you don't have proof and it's only your perception of like, oh, I think that they're dating, that's not useful. That's not useful. That's you being the Lulu. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's like I want to read for for events or something like this, but be specific. Be specific. Don't like, because the cards also the answer. If you're not specific, the answer also gets all like it goes everywhere because it's like, yeah, I gave you an answer, but the answer is so dismissive, it's so weird. I even feel it when I read it. I'm like, the cards are not, they are going around the subject, but they're not saying much. Bye, Fluffy. Bye, Fluffy. Okay, I'm going to start, guys. Sorry for the ranting, but this was fun. Okay, now I got myself a pencil that doesn't work. Let's see if I have another. Okay, first question. Will SM groups be able to break into Western market in near future? Let's see, will SM groups be able to break into Western market in near future? I mean, we start with the moon. We have the Ten of Cups. We have the Sun card. And we have the Tower. I think that actually there's a community. I mean, in the Western market, you know, there's a lot of positive feelings about SM groups. Actually, I see a lot of people with open arms, just wanting to see them or wanting to receive them or wanting to, you know, keep welcoming them into the Western market. But um, I think that the company is very indecisive. You know, we start with the moon card. So I can see that probably is the company the one that doesn't know how to promote or launch or create a plan, you know, to keep, you know, bringing the groups or, you know, making them appear more in the Western market. Because honestly, I think that people are waiting for them. There's a community, there's, you know, maybe it's the fans, you know, maybe it's people from the music industry that they know about the groups and they are so excited, they are so like, yeah, come on in, like you're welcome, like all the smiles and everything is so cool. Like the atmosphere, it seems like very welcoming, like people really love them. You know, I see that when it comes to certain groups, you know, maybe, you know, the fan bases or, you know, people, you know, there's a lot of people like, you know, having a positive experience or a positive, I see a lot of good relationships with certain groups or maybe with certain members. They are like, you know, we want this group over here, you know, the groups maybe being like, we want them, bring them here, you know, we want to see them, bring more concerts, you know, bring them to decide. I know from my part that I'm from Argentina. I know that, you know, for example, you know, I'm an citizen, but there's a lot of citizen fans that they have been trying to get any kind of NCT unit to Argentina, and poor people, they always ask me like, will they come this year to Argentina? And I'm like, I don't see it. I think that the group definitely wants to go to Latam more often, but the companies maybe is like, I don't know if this is good for us. Maybe it's not, you know, it's not beneficial for their numbers or their vision of business. They are like, you know, here people don't pay well. I don't know. We do have some issues in our economy, so probably, you know, K-pop is not that well, you know, rewarded or, you know, even paid. And they are very strategic about money. They want money first of all, but I think that the insecurity comes from the company. The company is like, yeah, we know they love them over there, but you know, I don't know if we are going to do this. And then we have the tower upheaval, you know, so probably it means that it's not so much like the Western market, it's more that maybe SM has issues. So it seems like every time SM wants to launch the groups or there's like some opening of conversations or discussions about this matter, something happens. Some upheaval, something happens in the house, you know, that it sort of takes the attention away from this possibility. They have to address certain issues that would come up that it has to do with the poor management that they have, or there's some scandals or some issues that they have that somehow, you know, they are very confused about what to do with the Western market. If they would be more focused and more strategic, the love is there, the appreciation is there, The fans probably waiting are there, and they are very obvious about their love for all different SM groups. I mentioned NCT because I know about NCTzens, but SM has a lot of groups. There's a lot of love for them in this part of where I live. And I'm not an expert, but I've seen it. So I think that it's not about like, oh, in here they don't know who they are. No, I think that it's from the company. The company is probably going to, with the tower, is probably going to face certain issues again in the future. So they are not stable. They are not stable. They are missing the opportunity because they doubt. They doubt. They don't launch themselves. They are not brave enough because they love, they have it. The connections, they have it. They have everything. Then the other question is, does SM manipulate the chart numbers of their artists? No, no. But they do rely a lot on maybe certain, maybe the media or certain people that they really love. Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of love for SM groups. Love, respect, appreciation. We start with the Ace of Cups, we have the Six of Swords, and we have the Ten of Pentacles. And we have the Queen of Wands, determination. So I think that this is about them probably, yeah, taking, you know, um, you know, taking advantage of the love that and respect that people have for some groups. So there's something about them, maybe even it's like, okay, if this group is not that, recognized, but maybe they realize they rely on the support of other fandoms. I don't know if there's like SM stance, like the stance that support like all the groups in SM, or it feels like more like an emotional connection. It's like, like I say sometimes, I may have a lot of disagreements about how they manage things, but I do love their songs, or I do love the artist, and I know that, some SM things are contradictory, but they take advantage of the love that people have for them, and this is why they keep advancing when it comes to their votes or when it comes to the numbers. I think that probably there's people that they are not necessarily a fan of that group, maybe if the group is new, but because they support the sister group or the brother group, or the one group that is associated with them, they will vote, they will put their vote for that group, for the group that just debuted, or the group that is lacking in numbers. Is like, for example, I don't know, Shiny fans voting for Red Velvet. There's like something like this. There's like, it's like, because I love SM artists, or I have a love for certain groups of SM, even though I'm not like in the fandom, I will put my vote into them. And this is why they keep advancing, and they have the legacy that they have, and they have the numbers that they have. Or probably people that maybe their groups are not that active, but they do see like the youngest ones, and they're like, because of nostalgia, because I'm nostalgic, because it's been a while since I've seen my group, but I know that these young kids come from their company. I'm going to put my vote into them. So it's probably because, to keep the legacy of the company. And the queen of wands, determination. There's a lot of passionate female energy. The queen of wands is probably the fans that are very passionate about their artists, just like they are passionate and determined for various reasons, because just like the queen of wands is determined to give you their vote, they also could be determined to bring you down. Just like we've seen this group of people wanting to kick a member out, we've seen this for SM. So the queen of wands is dangerous, because this is like an energy that fires up, that they are people of passion. They are very determined. It's like they are going to make you number one, but they will also drag you if they think that what you're doing is not correct accordingly to their standards. But there's a lot of and probably, the Queen of Wands could be very powerful female, women with power, even women with money, being supportive of SM artists or their groups. And they're like, I will pay for this. Get the guys this. So, yeah. But I don't see the company doing. They're like, no, we don't have. We only have our legacy. There's something about the same, like, we only have our legacy, and we only have the love of the people and the loyalty of the people. We run with that. We don't have the money to go buying both. We don't have it, honestly. Mm, mm-hmm. And also, I think that, there's I don't know why when I saw this, I was like, when I said the SM stance, it reminds me also of the rivalry that we have here in my country about soccer teams. Sometimes, maybe our favorite team has like a nemesis. You have that group that you're like, that's my rival. But sometimes, maybe your group, my favorite group, is not playing with the rival, the one I hate so much and I don't want them to win. But if they're playing against another group, I'm going to vote for that group because I don't want my rival to win. So there's something about SM stands, maybe supporters of SM artists, that they are like this. I do see that, maybe my favorite group is not promoting, my favorite group is not in the list, but I see an SM group, and just because I don't want this other company to win, I'm going to put my vote on the SM artist because I am that loyal. I am that loyal, and also I don't like the other company. I don't want another company to win. Or I have to sustain the legacy, because they rely so much on maybe people's nostalgia, people being very attached to SM legacy, and being like, we cannot let the groups fall, or go bad in numbers. There's a legacy that we have to protect. There's an image. They are the best, they are the powerhouse of talent, and that, of course, talent there is. So I see mostly the fans doing the work that sometimes maybe the company lacks a bit, because the company is very, like, I would say, is very confident about, like, they love us. They will support what we do. They love us. Even when we mess up, they love us. Mm, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to go with this subject. I'm going to just pull cards today, guys, for this, and I'm not going to address it anymore because this is heavy. This is a subject that is ongoing. I'm going to pull cards for Haknyeon and his, his the whole thing that is going on with him, to see how he's feeling, about this that is going on, and see. Let's see what the tarot has to say, and then I'm going to pull cards for him and the company. 100. Let's see, Haknyeon. Oh, okay. He has a lot of things to say, not to say, but to do. Okay, for Haknyeon, we start with the Eight of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Death card. And we have the Two of Wands. And then we have the Page of Cups that it says play, the keyword. His energy feels like very, like, he's very impulsive. He's a very impulsive person. Very emotional, also very emotional person. Very emotional. He's very prideful also of, this. He probably, there's something about him. Yeah, I did this. I acknowledge this, but I was looking for a good time, or I was having a good time, so I don't feel like I should apologize for having a good time. Yeah, his attitude is very much like the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Cups. It's like, I was happy. I was satisfied with this experience. I was having a good time. Was he drinking? Was there encounter and was there drinking involved? Because, yeah, and in here I see the girl also, the woman. I see two women, but more like this is not like a woman, more is like, it could be the company being very fast in, in imparting or telling him the rules and being like, this is what we're going to do and you have to accept this. Like, I think that the news, or what if they wanted to kick him out, it was so fast, it was so cold, it was so rigid. This is why the Queen of Wands is giving me like lawyers, or like, is someone coming with an information or with a contract and being like, okay, this is what we're going to do, sign here, do this, very cold, very, like, it's going to go like this. We are not even going to review, how you feel, or what is the best. It's like, we have this, sign here, this. But I see him very fixated on, yeah, opening up his heart, being very emotional, trying to be honest and transparent about how he feels about the situation. There could be a relationship with this girl, like an emotional connection. Maybe she likes him, or she finds him cute, and she's like, she's somehow supporting him. But I think that she's going to end things with him. I don't think that they are a couple, but there's something about her looking at him very lovingly and just being like, but why do I feel like she's loving? Because it's also part of her job, or is part of her, her image. Maybe when she meets famous people, or when she meets people that they say that they're famous. There's something about her just being like, very pleasant with him, being like, oh yes, like, oh yeah, I know who you are, or oh yeah, that's so cool, oh thank you so much, like, the compliments, or I had a good time with you. Definitely I think that she really appreciates him. um like there's nothing transactional here. I don't know if he had clarified of that, but there's not money exchanging here. It's all emotional. It's probably him flirting, or him being cute, or him being, you know, there's a lot of cups. So probably there's a lot of alcohol involved. Also, we have the page of cups that the keyword is play. So see, his energy feels like very, yeah, immature. I would say, like acting like someone very young and inexperienced. But he probably was in love with her, or he felt like he was like he felt so he got caught in an environment, because the Nine of Cups is giving me like when you enter an environment and when you encounter her and everything is so pleasant. She treats you right, she talks to you in the softest tone, and she's so pleasant, and she's so nice, and she's so dreamy. And also, if there's alcohol involved, there's something about you being like, oh wow, this is where I want to be. Life has been so stressful. My life has been so stressful. I deserve this loving feeling. I deserve this feeling of satisfaction. I deserve to disconnect from you know from drama. There's something about Haknyeon's energy feeling like, yeah, maybe, I was daydreaming, or I was evading myself with, the experience, the alcohol, the good time, that I didn't see the consequences, or he felt so proud of himself, so satisfied. So, but I don't see money here. I don't see money. I also see her that she really likes him, so I don't know if she can protect him somehow, or say something positively about him, because she's a very nice person also, very nice, very polite, um, also very empathic towards him. There's something, I don't know if they talked or something, but they bonded. I don't want to say like she is his girlfriend. I don't know, because I think that she could disappear eventually, because we have the death card and we have the Two of Wands. So what is done is done. What is done is done. He will have to find a new plan to advance in his life, in his career, because the transformation is like, this is over. you know um I think that he will have to plan very well what he's going to do next, because I do see, and also probably, because the company is very fast. They have they're very, intelligent and rational people. Maybe, you know working with communication, creating certain papers, evidence, like, they are very fast. They are very, like, the company is very fast to create information, or to deliver information. They are like, okay, this is the truth. This is what we have. This is what he signed. This is what he did. And I think that for Haknyeon, he's still he's a bit like, this is why I'm like, his energy feels very mature. He feels like, but from a sense of not like he made a mistake, from a sense that I think that he really felt like really good with her. There's something about him being really feeling like so appreciated and valued in her presence, like as if she was like this motherly figure that paid attention to him, in a very sweet, and even took care of him. Could it be? um was patient with him, and he lacked that in his life. He didn't have that. So this is why with the Nine of Cups, he's like, I do not regret what I did because I felt safe, or I felt so good emotionally. I felt taken care of. I felt that someone cared for me. I felt an intimate connection. I felt understood. I think that he got carried away by this very, emotional and even like ethereal kind of fantasy experience, because she does set a mood. I don't know if it's the way she talks to you or the way she looks at you. It's like everything that she does, she transmutes you to, like transports you to a dream, that I think that for someone of his experiences, he's like, I never experienced this kind of love and attention before. Give me more. I'm addicted. I love you. I wonder if he said that he loves her, and she's like, oh, you're so cute. She's older than him, isn't she? Because she's like, or she's more experienced, but she's like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you for telling me that you love me. But yeah, she will have to, like, the bubble, this experience is going to, end at some point, and we have the death and the Two of Wands. I see that he will not stop, maybe he has to work towards getting like a better representation, or getting lawyers, or getting, I see him planning something, like he will not stop. He will not stop. But I think that the poor guy fell into reality like this, like he was, so happy emotionally. So I Yeah, with the page of cups is this very playful energy of like, I was just being romantic. I was trying to get a very romantic interaction, and I had fun while doing this. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's wish him luck for his next um, eh, plans, because his reality had just changed drastically. But I believe he wants to, he wants to keep um, fighting, maybe, or discussing this. But he has to get out of that. Like, I think that maybe there's something about him being like, I did this, but I feel so proud of what I did because this is how I felt. And it's like, people don't care how you feel. And I'm not saying people, the audience. I mean, like, probably these people of the companies, or the lawyers, or whoever is in the middle, that they have the papers. It's like they don't care if you were happy emotionally, or if you felt happy while being with this person, and the experience make you happy. They don't care how you feel. They don't care about your feelings. They just care that they wanted to get you out as soon as they heard. They heard, and they turn on him. They It's like, okay, if we kind of appreciated you a bit, or were nicer to you in the past, all of the sudden, with the Queen of Swords, is like, I'm cutting your head, like you are not going to bring us down, so we are eliminating you. We are letting you know in a very cold way, in a very fast way, that this is how we're going to do things, you know. But I think that he was a bit in denial, with all these cups. Is giving me that he was still in a fantasy. He was still in denial about the consequences. There's something about maybe him believing, or he still believe probably, that that he can go back, or he can fix this, or he can get to an agreement. With these people, there's no agreement. It's like, what is done is done. He will have to think about another strategy soon. But the determination is terminated. The death card is like terminated. Okay, him and the company. Let's see. All right, let's see. Do Haknyeon versus 100. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of back and forth. A lot of back and forth. Probably this is going to take a while because there's a lot of passive aggressiveness in this. There's a lot of passive aggressiveness. From his side, from Yuka Hanyon's side, we have the devil and we have the three of swords. So there's something about him not letting go of they hurt me or they betrayed me. Like there's something about him not letting this go. He will not let it go. He will not get. He will push this narrative or this, I don't know how to say it in English, but it's not narrative. It's more like he will probably keep reminding people that they hurt me. They hurt me. They betrayed me. They created all these all this sorrow. It's like they hurt me. I will not forgive them. They hurt me. He's really angry. And also this is one thing that I wanted to say um, when I saw all this, but I got this strong vibe in me. I'm like, he's a very vindictive person. He's a very vindictive person. So this is why we have the devil. He will not let it go. He will get like, the sweet Haknyeon that you knew. No, he will get very, very possessive about this situation, or he will get very fixated on this, or even, very um, obsessive, and it's like this is it feels like a very strong emotions, like I'm going to get you, I'm not going to let you hurt me, you betrayed me, I'm not letting you go, I'm holding you accountable for this that you did to me. So I think that they chosen the wrong member to mess up with, because he's he's very strong, he's very strong in, when someone betrays him in his own perception of betrayal, no? Or his own perception of like, oh, you affected me in this, or you tried to perjudicate me, he takes it to heart. He will not stop, so he will hunt them down. So yeah. And in their case, with the Page of Cups and the Judgment, they are like, probably the company at some point, if he begins, to maybe release certain statements that he keeps like insisting, like, they did this to me and this is not fair, and and I will pursue this because this is not fair. He will not let it go. And they, with the Page of Cups and the Judgment, they are like, oh, but we gave him all our love, we gave him everything, we are so nice, just like, we loved him, just like we love all the members. But with the Judgment, The judgment is literally like, yeah, we love him, but we judge him also. Like, he couldn't stay because, we were judging very hard what he did. And this doesn't go with the alignments or the vision of the company. We don't support this behavior. He was reckless when he did this, but we really love him, or we really appreciated him as a human. We cannot believe what he's saying, you know. With the judgment is like we were judging his decisions very harshly. We were judging him very harshly, and we will continue to judge him in what he did. So there's something about like, yeah, he was nice to have him, but this that he did is a no. But yeah, the night of wands. I said page, I believe the last time, but it's the night of wands. The keyword is says adventure. So get ready because this is going to get heated. This is going to get, you are going to see, um, you know, this is a long ride, a long ride. So, and a very active, even aggressive one. So yeah, get ready because it's probably going to get aggressive. It's probably them, and also they are in a hurry to accuse each other. It's like, no, we didn't do this, no. So, but both of the parties are angry at each other, and yeah, it's going to get. I think that there's something about also then with the page of wands, probably escaping responsibility at some point, because I think that there's something about the company and also from both of the parties lack um, responsibility, even though they say that they take responsibility or they acknowledge certain things. It's like there's something about the both of the parties, like I'm like, you're not making sense what you're energetically, I mean, like there's something about them being so impulsive and being so reactive or so quick to act that you are not thinking, you don't have a good strategy. You're just going at it, but you don't have like a strategy. um so yeah, probably it's going to be a long one, and also people are going to get a bit fed up, angry of hearing this, but what. Thank you for the likes, guys. Thank you so much for leaving the like to the live stream. You do help me a lot with that. Thank you so much. Okay, the next question is the energy or personality of the next it girl in K-pop, or this could be a female idol in the near future, her attributes, her energy, how is she going to be like? So yeah, let's see for the next it girl. The temperance came out twice. Could it be a Libra or a Sagittarius woman? A Libra or Sagittarius girl? All about balance, just easygoing, very um everything is balanced, nice. She doesn't say anything out of place. She's perfect in that sense. But we start with the Two of Pentacles. We have the Temperance, we have the Justice, we have the Knight of Cups, and we have the King of Wands. And then we have the Temperance again, that is, the keyword is just breathe. Just breathe. Yeah, I think that a very positive girl, also maybe like the typical girl next door, her being very, not like, oh, I'm so luxurious or I'm so beautiful, I'm untouchable, like a very high standard of beauty. Um, there's something about her playing with the audience, like the part of the seduction of, like, yeah, I'm innocent. No, I mean, I'm not innocent. Oh yeah, I'm pretty, but no, I'm shy. There's a lot of balancing. There's a lot of balancing. Also, probably she's very young. I think that these cards that appear here is more about her, acquiring these attributes and being a bit innocent and inexperienced. I think that this girl is not the next it girl in K-pop, is not someone that is like created, or she's not coached to be the next it girl. She's going to just become the next it girl without her knowing how, or without her realizing that she's that popular. There's a bit of innocence and naivety in her, that she's like, oh, you're like, ah, she's cute because it seems like she doesn't know that she's like that loved, or that she's that, like, she's number one, for example. There's something about her being like, oh my, I don't deserve this, like, but really from a place of like, I really like it caught me off guard that you guys love me so much. But the thing that probably is arranged in her, or she's coached, or she has been trained to do, is to stay neutral. With the Temperance and the Justice, there's something about her, not getting into problems, not saying anything controversial, probably looking a bit like, yeah, like I said, naive, just not saying things, not stating an opinion, but also like not appearing like, oh my God, like I have to do something here, or I have to be a certain way. I think that she will follow the rules. She follows the rules of the typical idol, but probably her popularity is going to come like a surprise for her, and her being like, really, you like me like this, like what I am, or she's very harmonious, but it's not like, oh, she has the face, or she has, she's always dressing pretty, and like, no, she has like a nice attitude. She's very nice. She's very nice. A bit clumsy, but she's nice. um and the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Cups and the King of Wands, there could be a bit of, people not being very sure of her, in, in, in the sense that the problem lays in here. I see men, masculine energy at the end, somehow, observing her obsessively, and even being like, wanting to dominate, her presence, or what she does or what she doesn't do. I don't think that this is a CEO. I think that this is the male fan, that probably this girl is going to have a lot of male fans, a lot of men watching her, men approaching her, men wanting, going to fan signs, and you're going to hear and see a lot of men energy, older men, older than her. So probably in there you're going to be like, oh, this is so creepy. But she's okay with that. She's loving, she's nice, she knows, she probably, there's something about her being like, well, if men in the audience, if they love me, well, thank you for loving me. She's very thankful in that sense. It's not like she's like, oh, gross. No, she's accepting of this. So maybe there's something about her being like, having male fans, because she's super nice. She's very authentic in that sense. She goes with the flow. She doesn't care about genders. Either you are a girl or a guy, she's going to give you a good time. She's going to talk to you. She's going to laugh at your jokes, but probably people are going to see the issue with these grown men, being very fanatics of her. Probably you're going to see like, oh my God, this is a member that has all the men like lining up in here. What is going on? But yeah, with the temperance, just breathe. Is like, just like any it girl criticism, people speculating about her, if she's real, if she's not real, there will always be that. So she has to breathe. She has to, not, I don't see her getting angry, but she has to keep being optimistic, because they're going to criticize her and her fans. Also, guys, if I run out of battery, please let me know with the emoji of the red flag, so I know if I'm running out of battery. Okay. Let's see. Twice Sana and BTS Hobi. BTS J-Hope. Sana, BTS Hobi, and their connection. A lot of the devil in here is on fire twice. So a lot of restriction. They have history. They cannot talk about it. And they will not talk about it. There are certain things that are restricted in here. Not when I say they, I don't mean it like Sana and Hobby in particular. I mean it, I know they mentioned something about, BTS and Twice being in the same era and running into each other. Well, it's true. From Sana, we have the Ace of Pentacles and we have the Three of Cups. So she felt very, very good, like, interacting with Hobby. For her also, it was a huge success to have Hobby in the show. That he's a BTS member, he's super successful. Probably to get Hobby into a show is expensive, or, it's not easy to get him. Even if he can be like, oh yeah, I will go to your show, but he, probably not him only, but they are very selective about what show they go to, and it's really good. From Hobby, we have the devil and we have the lovers. So could it be that he had a crush on her in the past and he's still holding on to that? Very strong Hobby also. Hobby he doesn't forget. But with the lovers, there's something about him not doing or not expressing entirely that he maybe he liked her from the past, or he still does, but there's restriction. This is why I'm like, I see the devil twice and I'm like, there's a lot of things unsaid in here, maybe, there's a lot of history. This is why in here, when they said that they have history, yes, the both groups have history, I see it, but there's also restriction. It's like, yeah, remember, but let's not go there. And we have, from their connection, we have the High Priestess and we have the devil again. That it says restriction. So a lot of silence, hermetism, you are not going to hear about it. If you have your suspicions about certain people, Yeah, probably there were certain people flirting with each other. There was history. Things are not like, oh, I remember you, and yeah, I have a good memory of your work and how productive you were. But maybe there's some bad blood, between certain people. It doesn't have to be romantic, but maybe a lot of gossip. Them being young, the both groups being young, inexperienced, and also maybe having differences, or um, some connections not going well. So yeah, but yeah, a lot of restriction in this reading, a lot of like, I know, we know. It's like they look at each other and they're like, we know. When we say we have history, it's not just about like, oh, we were practicing and you were in next room, or we were together when you guys had a comeback. We also had a comeback, and we also had like collaborations. No, there's a lot of pettiness. There's a lot of people not like, oh, I used to like you, but now I don't because you did this to me and this. With the devil, there's a lot of attachment, attachment to the past. Like things probably ended very, things are awkward among certain members and will always be awkward, but there will also not be a confirmation about this. There's silence. There's silence. So yeah, probably some people dated or they flirted, but it ended. It didn't end well, and there's also something about people, or maybe there's an agreement between the groups to like, okay, let's stay civilized. Let's be civil. Let's be professional. We came a long way. We used to be younger and more inexperienced back then, but now we are adults. So yeah, please, let's honor each other. Let's be nice. But yeah, there's a lot of like, yeah, we cannot say that. Yeah, we cannot do this. Or there's certain members that you are not going to see together. Um, and yeah, yeah, from Hobby's part about her, I think that he finds her really attractive. He always had find her, maybe out of all the members, he's like, she would be my type. But with the lovers, there's something about him, admitting that he finds her attractive, or that he always had that something that he found very attractive in his eyes. But with the lovers, there's something about him, her maybe being with someone else, or other person being interested in her. So he sort of he restricted how he really feels about her, until this day. He's like, yeah, I used to like her, but I know that someone also liked her, so I cannot go there, and I cannot even express. There's a lot like, I will not show it, or I will not make it obvious. But who doesn't like Sana? Sana is Sana is a goddess. Like, an idol that is not attracted to her. Come on, guys. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult, please. Um, Also about that everyone talks about Jimin and Jonghyun of Twice. I do have a video on my Patreon about those two. I think that is still up. But if you want to go, you can go and check it out. It's on Patreon. uh but yeah, is I think that what it gives me about them, and this is why we have the devil in here in the present, is because they cannot express entirely, what how the dynamic was, because there's is there like like a signed contract or something that is like not allowing them to talk about certain people. It's like, for example, Hobby and Sana are safe. They can hang out. They can, collaborate. But maybe Sana and someone else of the group, no. Um, and I think I think that I've seen this. I've seen this that I was surprised when I saw this. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't want to go there, but there was a series that I did, I believe, a year ago, that it was unusual ships or famous ships. I don't remember exactly. And I remember one of the famous ships, I guess it was, and it was a recommendation of someone that said uh, a reading for Sana and Jungkook. And the cars that I got in there, I got sad myself because both of the parties were so disappointed in each other, or they were so hurt. And I was like, something happened here, because there's no way both of them have this very sad memory of each other. You know, when things don't end very well, but you're like, oh, you really hurt my feelings, or something. It is mutual. So I know there's shippers and there's people. This is why probably someone mentioned those two, but it was the first time that when it comes to these ships that I got recommended, it was the first time that I actually felt very sad for them, for Sana and for Jungkook. I don't know what happened. I believe it was a long time ago, but it was like, oh my God, what did they do to each other? Like, so heartbroken. I'm like, like the kind of, sadness that you're like, I don't want to see that person. Like, please don't make me, encounter this person, because it's going to get weird. So, it could be another people also, but why I do remember that reading, it was, I felt so sad, like, honestly. And in this case, having, the high priestess and the devil, there's a lot of things that they cannot say. There's a lot of people that they cannot meet, um, and they will never, clarify anything. But yeah. But definitely, if people are suspicious about these two groups, yeah, they had, but they ended very, like, it was messy. Like, it's giving me high school vibes. It's giving me high school era. So this is why, maybe there's something about them now that they are more mature and they are more like, centered in their careers. They have done the work. They have done very well. And probably this happened a long time ago. They are like, now I'm restricting myself, let's not go there, and probably they also know that people maybe know certain things, so they're like, yeah, certain people, we will let the rumors continue, but you will never see them together because it's awkward. It's awkward. Okay. I'm going to pull cards for EXO, Suho, Kai, and Chanyeol for the rest of 2025. EXO, Suho, Kai, and Chanyeol for the rest of 2025. Okay, for Suho, we start for the rest of 2025. We have the Six of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. Very work related, and also we have the Knight of Wands, adventure. So working a lot. I wonder if this is with EXO, because the Three of Pentacles is giving me association, teamwork. So I see him traveling somewhere. Also the Knight of Wands is very active. So does he have, like maybe an individual activity or individual role? But I see him very busy. traveling a lot, working with groups of people. It could be with EXO, but it could also be, if he works with other people, with a cast of people. I see him very busy, very busy. And also with the Six of Swords, there's something about him, advancing in 2025. Maybe things are starting to move in this second part of the year. There's something about projects are starting to, you know, are starting to get moving, to get active. The Knight of Wands is giving me like, you're going on an adventure. Get ready, get energized, because he will probably not have a single moment to rest. Maybe he's going to be very active, or he's going to be everywhere. I see a lot of traveling, a lot of movement, but I think that for him is great because he loves to work with people, he loves to collaborate, and this is a passionate project of his. So I see him very like looking at the future, at the horizon, and just being so happy that finally things are advancing in his life, or are advancing. He's going towards an objective, he's going towards maybe like a new era, or a new project, something that is finally moving, because maybe he had been feeling like a bit stuck, waiting for confirmation, or waiting for someone to be like, give him a heads up and be like, okay, you can do this. But I see that the most important projects for him are with other people, not so much like him individually. But he's feeling so alive. There's something about him being like, finally, I can go and do this. Finally, I can go and collaborate with these people. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So very nice for him. Very nice. I love it. For Kai, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Nice, very nice cards for Kai. And we also have the Seven of Wands that it says defense. So there could be certain people, being on the defensive about Kai's success. I think that Kai definitely, there's something about him shining a lot personally the rest of 2025. There's a glow up, even emotionally, I would say. He's feeling very charming, he's feeling very emotional, he's feeling very, very loving, very much in control, not only of his work or his career, but also he probably is feeling very charming when it comes to love and relationships and attraction. I don't see someone, but he's like open. Emotionally, he probably is surrounded by people that also allow him to be this emotional. Maybe it's the fans, maybe it's his friends, but there's something about him feeling very loved, and he loving a lot of people. There's something about Kai being very loved, very loved. But at the same time, with the Seven of Wands defense, there could be, haters. Or there could be, some people just like, accusing Kai of like, oh, you seem to be doing very well on your own. Oh, you forgot about this, or you forgot about these people because you are so successful now, or you are doing so well on your own. So there could be, that he will have to get a bit on the defensive to protect his own happiness, because there's something about certain people not wanting Kai to be successful individually. Or they don't like, there's something about maybe also people being like, we don't like the people that you hang out with. We don't like these people. We would prefer for you to hang out with, I don't know, they are very possessive or jealous, or just very opinionated about what would make Kai happy. And there's something about them being like, we don't like these people that you call friends. Or, you're seen with this girl, or you're seen with this. He's very successful like the rest of the year. I wonder if he's going to be in love, or starting a connection with someone, because he's glowing in that aspect. He's opening up his heart, but also he's so happy because he's very successful, but he will have to defend himself, because probably people are going to criticize him and being like, oh wow, you think that you're all that, oh, you forgot about where you come from. Something like this is awful. It's awful. This is, I don't know, if this is like some haters or some stalkers, sending him these letters and saying this to him, but it feels very personal. Like, we don't want to see you succeed on your own. We want you to go back to your old ways. We want you to go back. I don't know, maybe it's like, oh, you have to focus more on EXO, or you have to go back to EXO. You forgot about EXO, but he's being very successful on his own. He's shining. He had accomplished a lot, and he's loving his life. So yeah, maybe the issue is this, that he's loving his life and this is a conflict for certain people. But he will have to stand up and defend his right to be happy. He will have to defend himself. Yeah. Put some boundaries, guy. Protect your happiness. Um, for Chanyeol, we have the Sun and we have the Four of Cups. So nice, nice. For Chanyeol, we have the Five of Swords, defeat. So again, I think that for Chanyeol is challenging to be fulfilled, to be 100% happy. There's something with, because with the Sun I do see exposure, I do see him working, I do see him being out there, I do see him, going out, or maybe, working and being seen in different maybe shows, or there's something about him shining everywhere he goes, or maybe his personality, is very in the industry, maybe he's very loved, or he's just very funny. He definitely is someone that he cuts your attention. With the Sun, he's very authentic. Maybe he's very funny, and he has the potential to shine. To expose himself a bit more, maybe to be more seen in different shows, or. But with the Four of Cups, I do see that emotionally he's a bit distant, he's a bit detached, he's a bit like, yeah, I received this offer, but I don't know if this is what I want. He's sabotaging himself. He's definitely sabotaging himself. He's definitely, sometimes he's been presented with this great opportunity and he's like, yeah, I don't know, I don't like that. Or there's something about this project that I'm not sure, or it's not my vibe. It doesn't represent me. Give it to someone else. I don't want it. And maybe it could be a potential hit. So I see him sort of like evading certain propositions, like him like, oh yeah, I don't know. Uh, but whatever he does choose, is going to be coming from his heart or his potential, or him really being like, yeah, I decided to do this because I really resonate with the proposition, or I really like to do this. This is why I'm doing this. So if you are a fan of Chanyeol, pay attention to what he does do, or how he presents himself, or if he does engage in certain activities, is because he truly resonates with what is being presented in there. The Five of Swords with the card of defeat, is giving me that he could experience a bit of a letdown, him not being in the mood actually, like for there's something about his energy not feeling that confident, even though with the Sun card, definitely he's a very magnetic person. There's something about Chanyeol that maybe whatever he does, or if you see him, he definitely, he cuts your attention. He's a very charming person, or he's very attractive, or he's very intelligent. There's something about his personality or his presence that is amazing. But he's feeling a bit down. He's feeling a bit like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this. Yeah, I said that I would do this, but I don't know. So yeah, maybe 2025, it could be a bit of him. I don't think that he will hide. I don't see him like the hermit, him going, MIA. But there's something about him lacking energy. Him lacking energy. And with the Five of Swords, there's this sentiment of him maybe not finding joy in what he's doing. So yeah. he feels a bit low, maybe he's a bit tired, or just mentally he's not feeling it, even though when you see him on a stage, or when you see him act, or in some place, presenting himself, he is this wonderful entertainer, um, but his energy feels a bit doubtful, like he's not really sure about what he wants. Hey Akira. Hey Natasha. I did read Akira for Sana and Hobi. I did read for them a couple of minutes ago. So then if you want to go and watch it. Okay, I'm going to continue with Kim Jiwon Futures Projects. Oh. You're going to get a deja vu of the reading that I did last year. I believe you were present in that reading, I believe. Okay, Kim Jiwon projects. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Kim Jiwon projects. Wow, there's a lot of projects for her. A lot of money. Wow, the first time I see so many pentacles this day. Like the pentacles were hiding through all the readings that I did so far, but now they reappear for Kim Jiwon. For Kim Jiwon, finally the pentacles are here. Someone is working. Someone is making money. Yeah, it's going to be very good. Okay, from Kim Jiwon, next projects: Six of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, the Empress, Two of Cups, and we have the Six of Pentacles, and it says generosity. Generosity for Kim Jiwon. Very nice. Yeah, she's working. Definitely, she's working. She's working. She's working a lot. She's moving. I think that this is something that you probably are going to have to be patient with her if you are her fan, because I do see her advancing. Finally, she's like moving. The project is moving. But we do have the Seven of Pentacles. So some parts of these projects are on the move. She is doing the work, but they are still green, some of them. So you will have to be patient. It's not like, oh, it's going to launch now. Oh, sorry, guys. But with the Ten of Pentacles, I think that there's something about like whoever she's working for, or if it's like a company, or if it's like the the production team, or even the plot, or maybe the co-stars. Like it seems very expensive. Like there's people with legacy, there's people that probably have they had won a lot of awards in the past, or they have a lot of recognition. They are very established and serious, serious workplace, or there's something about them. What they do and what they create is a success. I see her very well taken care of. And also with the Ten of Pentacles, there's a lot of people taking care of her, that stability, comfort. They want to protect her. There's something about them appreciating her, treating her like a queen, literally, because I do have the Empress in here. So they are like, I don't know if the role that she's going to do is that luxurious. Is she going to play like some kind of, maybe she's going to play a rich woman, but there's something, is she going to play also like the role of a queen or something like this, an empress? Because she's going to look her best. Like, I really like her. I really like her. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money here. Also, the Two of Cups, probably, I don't see the co-stars or something, but it's going to be romantic. Definitely, it's going to be romantic. People are going to talk about this too, because I do see the Two of Cups. So for her, it's like going back to romance, connecting with in a very intimate and emotional way, connecting with a potential co-star, but probably she is like the important one, because I do see the Empress and I have the Ten of Pentacles. So there's something about them being like, she is much more known and established than maybe these people. This is why I don't see the men in here. I don't see the men. I see her, mostly like her being the face or her being like the famous one. um but I think that there's something about whoever hired her, they feel very honored in having her. Also the Six of Pentacles, generosity. There's something about her being very generous to, working with these people. There's something about her, being like, yeah, I will do this with you guys. I will, I considerated your offer, and yeah, I will work with you. Um, Also from a very measured, there could be like that these are like two projects, and she's like, there's one that is very important, is really huge and it's so expensive. But then, with the Six of Pentacles, there's something about her also maybe working or having an appearance in another person's or friends or colleagues of her, that they are probably having their show or their own drama, and she appearing or having an appearance, a very short one. But she's like feeling like, okay, I will be generous, I will give you my time, my productivity, so you can also shine, or so I can promote also your work. She's feeling generous. She's definitely feeling generous. But I think that there's something about the whole industry being very generous with her, and they are taking a lot of care of her. With the Six of Swords, there's something that I don't know, is in the past months she has been feeling stuck, or she was going through something that is like, she was like a bit like not hiding, but I think that she was like, no, I will not go back to work right away. I will wait for you guys to confirm to me. She was expecting a big role, she, or a prestigious one at least. She's like, until I don't get that one, I will not move. And she got it, and she's very wanted. I wonder if, she's very popular in Korea, because she's like, here there's something about her shining, and also giving her a role where she's going to shine the most, or she's going to get everything that she needs. But you guys have to be patient with the outcome, because yeah, there's money, there's investments, there's work, but they are probably starting, or they started a few weeks ago. So yeah, but it's going to look good. It's going to look good, and she's going to look amazing. Okay, last one. I want to read for this new group, Ahof. Is that how it's pronounced? Ahof. But yeah, let's see how they're going to do. Ahof. What company are they under? Because I do see a success. I do see a success. Um, Mhm. A bit of um like escapism, I would say. Okay. We have a Knight of Wands for Ahof, Five of Cups. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and we have the Ten of Cups, and the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles. That it says achievement. So probably in numbers they're going to do very well. They're going to do very well. Um, I think that they are a very passionate group. They are probably very active, or there's a lot of dancing, probably. Well, it's a K-pop group, but there's something about them being very courageous and having a lot of energy. Them practicing a lot. They are very spontaneous. They have the attitude, very like warriors. But the Five of Cups, I don't know if they lost something, or they lost a member, or they lost something in the way that before they debuted, or they had to wait, or they had to you know be patient. Something slowed their energy, or maybe there could be some changes, or some abrupt changes of when they are going to debut, or what they're going to do, or if they're going to have a comeback. Maybe there was they lost something. They were so energetic, and then something happened that maybe they had to postpone something. But in the middle we have the Ace of Pentacles, so I think that they're going to do great. They're going to do great. Then we have the Ten of Cups and the Seven of Swords. So see, I see already they do have a fandom, or they have like a community that is already like arranging this, or arranging activities to support them, or to show support. They are really loved. But with the Seven of Swords, I wonder if what is the strategy of this company with these guys? Because I think that they will receive the love, they will receive the support, but then they could actually go MIA. There's a bit of escapism. There's a bit of like, yeah, we done really well. We fulfill all the expectations. Everybody loves us. They love us. We have a community already. But then with the Seven of Swords, it's like, maybe we will stop for a while, and then we will appear. It's all part of a strategy. So it's not negative. But I think that probably if you are a fan of theirs, you will have to be patient, because maybe they could share a message, or they could invite the fans to do something, and then they maybe it gets postponed, or it gets canceled. So probably it's part of the company. There's something about the company holding them back a bit, because they want the fans to get more excited for them, or waiting for them. So there could be a bit of them telling the guys, okay, like you tell the fans that you are going to do here, you are going to go there, you are going to promote here. But then they change the strategy, or they change the day, they change locations. It feels a bit unstable, but I think that nevertheless the result is going to be very positive for these guys. They are going to get really good numbers. The Seven of Pentacles, achievement. With all the patience in the world, they're going to achieve things. They're going to actually be talked about. They probably have a lot of potential. So yeah, a lot of love also. I see a community in here. So yeah, guys, you will have to be, very consistent, and yeah, don't get like nervous or discouraged if you see a change of plans, because this doesn't mean that there's something wrong. I think that they are going to start very well. But yeah, maybe there's a bit of inexperience, maybe people working for them. So there's something about them, maybe posting something and then being like, no, no, take it. No, 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 we are going to cancel this, or we are going to do this all over. So it feels weird, like not weird, but it feels like there's something like that. You maybe if you're an audience, you're like, but where are they? like they just won this, or they just had these amazing, results. Where are they? You know, but it's all part of the strategy. So yeah, guys, I'm going to go. I'm going to go because I do have to cook. Today is Sunday here. It's going to start raining. I believe it rained for a bit, but yeah. And also my allergies are killing me. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being here. On Wednesdays, and Wednesday, I'm going to dedicate the live stream for BTS because I'm reading for for the romance in 2025 for BTS, for each of the members. Of course, it's going to be very general, and it's going to be the one live stream and opportunity that I'm going to address that aspect of their lives. So if you have any doubts, like, okay, I want to know about this member, who he's dating, if he's in, it's all going to be answered in that live stream, and then I will not mention that again. So yeah, if you want to join me, participate in that live stream, if you want to be present, if you want to support me with a like, um, I definitely appreciate you guys' support. It means a lot to me. I do work very hard to provide the readings that you want. So yeah, I appreciate also you guys leaving a like. Please be nice in the comment section. Don't speculate. It's just tarot readings. But yeah, have a lovely weekend, and enjoy yourselves and take care. Okay, I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.